Let's talk about different events that your high school PTO or PTA can put on for your school. Now, I know a lot of PTO leaders, especially if they've been involved for a long time, you are very, very used to putting on events. So you get to the high school and you're thinking, like, what can we do for these kids? And here's the thing, you don't actually need to do quite as much as you may have done in the previous schools because there are so many stinking events already kind of baked into the high school experience. You have like your theater group who's already putting on plays. You have the school even sponsors the homecoming dance and the prom and all of the athletic events and just all of the other things that are involved in, like I said, the high school experience. So your PTO might have to approach it a little bit differently. But if you're looking for something to kind of organize and do for the kids specifically, there are still lots of different opportunities. So let's get into what some of those are. One idea now for a high school activity is, now I've already mentioned that your school is doing the homecoming and the prom likely, but there's still room in the schedule for another dance like January, February, March. I think you could still sneak in like a winter ball or a sneaker ball if you wanted to do something a little less formal, give the kids just a reason to come out and get together as a group. I think that would be a really fun idea. You could also start an award. Like my group has done this. We have a junior wall of fame because we actually used to have a physical wall where the kids' plaques and a little bit of information about the kids lived. And the whole program was to really acknowledge juniors of distinction, that not for their academic reasons, but for like all the other reasons, because there are already, I think, a lot of opportunities for kids to get acknowledged and highlighted for their academic achievements, but some kids, that's not their thing. So I think it's fantastic to recognize a group of students for doing something else that makes them remarkable. So that is what my group has done. And really it's so that the kids can act as role models for especially the underclassmen. The next event that you can do, and I've talked about this being appropriate for any school, but it totally holds true at the high school too. Your PTO can help put together a talent show that the students participate in, even see if you can get the staff, like teachers and maybe some of the administrators, to come and show off their talents too. I think that would be really fun. Another thing that your group can do is bring in speakers that are relevant either for the students or parents, because the students are young adults or they're turning into young adults. And so we're trying to equip them with what they need for not only their teenage years, but thereafter, right? So I think if you bring in speakers that talk about different topics that are relevant for the students or their families, what they're going through, that would be super good. You can bring in someone from maybe a local college or university that can talk about the student aid process at colleges, like maybe how to fill out the FAFSA form. You could do that in collaboration with your school's guidance department too. Another thing you could do is bring in some resources to help deal with like mental health stuff like anxiety, study skills, even sextortion or like cell phone weaponization. That's becoming a really big issue. And it has been for a while, but I think now people are a little more open to kind of talking about it. So definitely consider bringing in speakers for that. You can, if you're looking for a speaker, you can connect with the local chapter of the National Alliance of Mental Illness, NAMI. I think if you go to NAMI.org, that you can find resources there. You can also look for speakers if you connect with like local hospitals. They might have community like outreach departments, your local sheriff's department, prosecutor's office, anybody in law enforcement. They might have contacts to, if they don't put on the programs themselves, they might have contacts for speakers from other like nonprofit organizations that would be willing to come in and help share some information and resources with your students and parents. The other recommendation that I have for you is really just to look for opportunities where you can partner with the school and maybe add on. So maybe your prom is being organized by the school, but maybe your PTO could do the after prom, because it's really just like an extension of the evening and it's a way to keep the kids safe. I know that's how my group that's why we run our after prom, just to give kids an alternative activity. No, not everyone is going to come. Some people are still going to want to get like a rental house and do all kinds of chicanery, but for the kids that do come to the after prom. They're going to have a great time. So, but just know that it's not entirely necessary for you to plan separate activities, just like I said, because the school is doing so much and there's so much baked in just to that, the norms of high school, and they have plenty of opportunities for activities, more so than when they are younger and things are a little more parent driven. So really you can look for ways to supplement, but don't feel like you need to be doing like an event a month or an event every other month, because there is just so much going on already. So there you have some ideas that your PTO or PTA can plan for your high school. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video and you will join me for the next one. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.